If you're a Christian wife, let me ask you something. Do you speak negatively about your husband in public? I've noticed something subtle in the church groups I belong to, that ladies are speaking disparagingly about their husband. Believe me, I know how tempting this can be because for 21 years I was in an abusive and alcoholic marriage. But I know that most of you are not in situations like that. You are married to men who are generally good-willed and good-hearted people. So to those of you in that category, I want to remind you that the Bible tells us that our tongue holds the power of life or death. That's how big of a deal this is. Now, I know that you would rather speak life than death into your marriage, and I firmly believe that our men are going to raise to the level to which we speak of them, especially in front of others. And I also want to say, I have 2 teenage sons. We've got to remember that our sons are watching us, they're listening to us, they're setting their expectations of how women talk about their husbands based on what we do. So here's some practical encouragement for you. When you are tempted to say something even subtly negative about your husband, pray about it first. You can vent vertically as much as you need to do. Often that will take care of the problem, but if it doesn't, you can find a godly, trustworthy woman who's not afraid to tell you things that you don't want to hear. Your problems, she can empathize with you and possibly correct you and even give you the emotional support that you need. If those things don't work, you can go speak to a counselor. Even if he doesn't want to go, you can go and work on yourself. That's what I did for years and years in my marriage. Also, when you're tempted to complain, pray for your husband. Don't pray, God fix him. I know how tempting that is. Pray blessings over him and pray that God will help you accept who he is and show him grace until he grows. I gained a lot of help and insight from reading some books about how men think and feel, and these are some that helped me a lot. These are several of my favorites. If you bought all of these at retail price, it's still cheaper than one therapy session. Finally, we need to remember that Ephesians 5 tells us that one of the main ways that we serve our husbands is to respect them, and we can do that by elevating them and all men in the way that we speak about them. And the part of Ephesians 5 that applies to all of us is to give ourselves up to each other in the same way that Christ did for the church. Make that your primary goal in how you serve your husband.